Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out a few games on the sim. These are just completely random games we're going to be looking at today that I recorded of 4 different leaders. The first one's going to be Blue-Black Sakazuki, the new one, the new promo one, coming out in like OP07, I guess, once the bans, stick for that. And then we're going to be going over Perona, Uda, and Red Purple Law. In no particular order, I'm just going to hit play as they're over here on the to the right of me. Okay, so first game here, let me make sure we're on 2x speed so we can get through these at a pretty good rate. So the first game here is the new Blue-Black Sakazuki leader against Ace. And I will say it doesn't feel the same. I built it a little bit differently too, I'm not going to lie, because, I mean, you kind of... I feel like you kind of have to. You kind of have to build it a little bit differently now because, let me adjust the camera. Sorry, guys. There we go. You kind of have to build it differently because you just don't have access to the same card draw, right? The same cycle abilities that you used to. So, I'm running 4 Tashigis, 4 brand news, and I'll try to go through the lists at the end of this video. So I'm just trying to fill up the board. That part of Sakazuki is the same. Get down your searchers and then have lots of removal. I think I'm running like 1 or 2 of those, that Kobe event right there. And I drew it early. It was like, this might be good. I could bottom deck the cards and he wants to recur like Ace. I think it ends up not being that great though. But worst case scenario, you can trash it with the leader effect. You guys know how that works now because you can -1 by trashing a Navy card. So I just clear the board with a Amano Murakuma sword, or however you say that, and just start putting on pressure. He the Ace is a very interesting deck. I do want to mess with that at some point. I don't really like it compared to Queen. Like I really liked Blue Yellow Queen, and whenever I'm playing whatever different decks I'm trying to play, I kind of go off how the leader is for those colors, right? And that's why I haven't been playing much Rebecca, because why play Blue Black Rebecca when you can play Sakazuki? That kind of becomes the logic. And I still haven't given up on Rebecca. I just think she needs a little more tools to be top tier. But now that Sakazuki's gone, I might start playing Blue-Black Rebecca again. So, okay, I'm just putting on pressure right now, guys. You see what's going on? There's no real gameplay to talk about. It's just attack, attack, attack. And I think that might be a thing for Sakazuki now, where it's like, okay, and that's why I don't like having that Kobe event. Again, the list you're seeing here, this is not like a perfected list. This is just playtesting. He's swinging in for 8. I'm probably going to take this. Yep, get a Lucci. Because that would get rid of all my little guys, like including my Hina, because I think it hits all 3 and belows off the board. So, again, that's not the best effect for what I'm trying to do. So right here, I put on 5K pressure with brand new, and you guys see what's going on here. Just, again, pressure, pressure, pressure. But yeah, I think moving on with the deck, if people even choose to run this leader anymore, I think a lot of people are just going to abandon it, because I don't think it will be S tier anymore. Who knows? I could be wrong, and I'm more than happy to, be proven wrong. But I think it'll kind of drop down to B or A tier, low A or like B, high B tier maybe. We'll see. Maybe it'll say it like an A tier, because the cards it has are very strong. It's got Gecko Moria recursion with Lucci and Helmeppo. That's still a thing. It's just going to be, you're going to have to find a way to get Sabo, or excuse me, like using Sabos. Well, I just had a Freudian slip there. You're going to have to find ways to get Lucci into your trash more consistently. And that's where something like Sabo could come in very handy, to do those kind of tricks. But then it kind of becomes a question of why even go that route? Just go full black and go like a Gecko Moria route, because it'll be easier with the Nupe and Sabo and the leader effect. But we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see what happens in the future. Okay, so right here I'm like, I have another Gecko Moria, but I don't really have any good targets to hit with it, and that felt horrible. So I will say, oh, hang on. So play out Gecko Moria. I'm still able to get, I mean, I still had targets, right? I still had 2 targets. It's just the targets don't seem as good as they used to be. Maybe I'm crazy, because that ended up wiping the board. I got down the search. Maybe I just didn't see that right then, because that was very solid there. Okay, so he's going to swing 7 at something, it looks like. Or no, he's using his leader effect to move things around. So with Ace, you put a 5 cost on top of your life in some way. I'm probably butchering that. I'll bring it up on the right over here while we're talking about it. And then it's face up. But at the end of the turn, cards that are face up have to go away. Let me bring up Ace. 1 second, guys. I'm going to pause it as well and read this to you real quick while that's on the screen. I probably could have paused it on the, on the actual... Oops, there we go. Sorry, guys. Y'all give me just a second. Okay, so it is Dawn ×2. Activate main once per turn. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add up to 1 character of the cost of 5 to the top of your life cards face up. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. But at the end of your turn, the caveat is, you know, the restriction is you have to, I took my glass off too fast, trash all the cards that are face up in your life at the end of turn. So you see how Hiyori has a really strong synergy with that leader. Okay, and that's what he did there. He puts Satori on top. He takes the 2K counter to hand and puts a new card on life. He might have put the Satori back, depending on what he had in hand, because he only has 2 cards left in hand. So yeah, so this... I do think that the blue-black Sakazuki new leader is still very usable. It's just not as good as it used to be, so a lot of people will probably run away from it because of that. Okay, so I'm taking like an abnormally long time here to just swing 7. You know, like, I mean, I think I'm looking at the board right now. I don't know. I would probably just swing 5, 5, 7, 7, 9 here, to be honest. Again, I don't know what I'm thinking about. I think I'm trying to use removal to just clear up his board to ensure I don't lose next round if I can't win. That's kind of my logic here. And I'm like, okay, so now he has no cards in hand. I can kind of do the math now. So we'll go 5 at life, then 7, then 9. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I just have... Oh, my leader's tapped down. Yeah, and then swing through. And then he immediately quits. Okay, that took a little too long to figure out, but we got there in the end. Okay, so that was that game. That was interesting, and I'll show the decks at the end of the video. Okay, whoops, what did I do with it? There we go. Okay, so that was the new Sakazuki leader. Now we're going to do Green Uda. Okay, let me make sure it's at 2x speed for us here. 2x. There we go. All right. So this is against Rebecca. This is another leader I wanted to... I didn't have enough time today to put in a 5th leader, but I want to test Rebecca soon again. Because, like I said, I think once Sakazuki is kind of nerfed like what we just saw... And by the way, I'm not saying the list you saw from me is like the new best list. It's not at all. But maybe Rebecca becomes the same tier as Blue-Black Sakazuki, so then it becomes a preference of like, oh, I prefer to play the Dressrosa package versus playing the Blue-Black Navy stuff. It's hard to say. It'll be really hard to say. Because I think at the end of the day, Rebecca will probably have a better matchup against certain decks, and Sakazuki will have a better matchup against other decks. Literally, you know, not even the same thing. Not even the same good matchups. But maybe. We'll see, because they are the same colors. But it plays very differently. Sakazuki can be much more aggressive than Rebecca, but Rebecca has extremely powerful control elements. So we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so swinging 5 at life here. I'm just going to try and fill up the board. Yep, drop 7 cost, drop 4 cost, drop 3 cost. And now it's my opponent's turn. Rebecca does have answers. You know, Rebecca can get rid of these cards. It's, I believe my opponent here was running 3,000 Worlds. I believe they were running, obviously they're running Leo. I haven't seen a Kairos yet, and I don't remember seeing a Kairos in this game, but they definitely have ways to remove my stuff on the board here. Okay, so draw 2, trash 2 with Sabo. He plays the 2K out of hand, so I know right away, like, okay, he's probably trying to get rid of my Luffy. Yep, -4, and then -3. -4 with Sabo. He can KO one of his characters that are Sabo affected, so they can't be KO'd to get a free activation of it, and then he gets rid of it with the 3 cost, excuse me, the One-Legged Toy Soldier, and then Leo to KO it. Alright. So right away, I'm starting to think like, okay, it's a good thing I have these I'm Invincibles in hand, because I don't see this going into the late game in my favor. Because once he starts establishing his bigger characters like Luffy, he didn't even get a stage, you know, who knows if he's running the, what's it called, the Corticosium, because then he would just start gobbling up my board with everything. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to start, you know, wrapping this up here. And I make a huge play mistake here. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what I'll do is I'll play out Mihawk and cheat out a Zoro. Like, that was my logic here. I'll cheat out the Zoro. And it's like, well, no, if you have 2 or less characters on the board, you can do that. So I use I'm Invincible. Oh, excuse me, it must be the next turn coming up. So spoiler warning. But I'm still learning how to use the new Mihawk, because that just came out for us over here in the West. So I'm still kind of learning how to mess with that. But it seems really strong, because what it can do is it can cheat out a 4-cost Slash character and a Muggy Pirates or something like that. I can't remember. But you have to have 2 or less characters on the board, and that's the stipulation. And it's a 2K counter, you know. So that card, it's a 3-cost 4K, which is fine for being a 2K counter. That's actually like on rate, I would say. But you know, you have to have 2 or less characters on the board to get the effect of it. Okay, so when I saw Luffy go down, I'm thinking, okay, I got to wrap this game up because I don't have a way to get rid of that Luffy, like, realistically. I am running 3 Eustace Kids in this deck and 2 of the 10 cost Doflamingo. Again, I'll show the deck list at the end. But I'm not happy where I am here. Oh, this is where I mess up. I tapped this to play out this, and I was going to play out the Zoro, and I'm like, wait, why won't it let me click it? Well, that's because you can't do that. That's not legal. So I attached the 1 Dawn, and I pass. I expected to like be able to counter out of a lot here and like save my Eustace Kid, but at the same time, I'm thinking he could remove this. Like it's very possible with 5 cards in hand playing Rebecca, he can remove this. So let's see what he does. It is sped up to 2x speed. Let me make sure, guys. Yeah, it is sped up to 2x speed, so we're just waiting on him to make his play. There's a lot to think about here. Okay, so he Hawk Couture Patchworks. That's -3. My card's at 5 cost now. Then he hits it with the 3,000 Worlds, and he's out of here. Yeah, 3,000 Worlds is so good. And now he's gonna swing 4 into my Uda. I'm gonna 1K. I'm not gonna let him have that because I'm trying to win the game next turn. You know what I mean? That's my logic here. Because like I said, he just got rid of my 8 cost kid. I'm like, okay, I need to try to win the game this turn here. He plays out a blocker, which is smart. He stands up his Luffy at the end of turn, and then he's going to pass. I think he should have attacked into my my Brook, personally. But I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to attach 5. Or attach 1, swing 5. He uses his blocker, and that's a good sign for me that he couldn't counter out of that. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and swing 5 again. Get a card out of hand. He gets I think he got Hawk Couture Patchwork off his life to draw 2 trash 1. So yeah, I think that's what that was. So now I'm like, okay, well, here we go. He either has it or he doesn't. And sometimes this is the case with Uda. So he had that. I had a feeling he'd be able to counter out of 1, but I have 3 Invincibles in hand, so I can use 2 of them this turn. So swing 8, swing 8, swing 8. That's game. Very nice. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we did Sakazuki, we did Uda. Now we're moving on to Perona. Perona, this is a mirror match. Speed 2x. Let me get this full screen. Okay, so this is a Perona mirror match. This was my first time playing Perona on the sim, and it feels really good. This is a leader I had not messed with yet because a lot of people were talking about running it at my locals. I don't run green decks, typically speaking. It's not really my style, but black-green I can make an exception for. This looks really fun, and the new blue-green Zoro and Sanji looks like a lot of fun too. I might have to mess with that. So anyway, and I should specify, whenever I say that I don't want to run certain colors, it doesn't mean I won't run them. It just means that they're not my preference. Like I don't prefer them, but I will run them, especially if it's a really cool, fun leader to run. All right, so here we go. We're going in with brand new. I tapped down. I didn't want to use my removal in hand just yet. I tapped down his Kuzan, swung 5 into it. He didn't save it, so I'm like, okay, then I'm going to develop multiple bodies here. Borsalino is very good into Perona. Because there's no way to KO it unless you attack into it. I'm okay with that. I probably should have countered out. I could have gone 2K, 1K to get out of that because I knew he was going to use something to get rid of my brand new. Wasn't worried about that at all. But at the same, and I swung last turn because he could just tap my Borsalino down anyway. However, maybe I should have not swung with it, so he had to choose to tap that down and he wouldn't have got my brand new. But either way, I play out the Ryoma to KO his. I play out my Kuzan. And I don't do it this time just in case he tries to tap down and attack into my guy. I at least want to be able to 6K out, so it's, to keep him honest here. So he swings 6 at life. I'm going, okay, 2K out of that. Gecko Moria. This card is absolutely massive. He gets out the Ryoma to KO my Kuzan. He gets back a brand new. And he's in a very good spot here. But I did get my second Doflamingo. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to start chaining Doflamingos here. That's the play. So Doflamingo, those 3 aren't standing. Your turn. I still have my Borsalino. He's going to have to tap that if he wants to do anything else this turn. Yep, there he goes. He taps that. And let's see what he does here. Swing 10 into my Borsalino. So, I let him have that because I'm thinking, okay, when I get my Borsalino, my Gecko Moria, I'll just get that back. But I never get a Gecko Moria. Another spoiler warning, guys. I don't get Gecko Moria this game, which was really frustrating. Because I think he ends up getting 2 or 3 Gecko Morias this game. But that's okay. All right, so right here, I'm in the same situation. Like, okay, I am going to just keep his board locked down. But this time, I'm going to get some more relevant targets off, tapped down. We'll KO both the blockers here. I think I swing 6 into it with Ryuma. I'm just trying to keep a little semblance of board control, because with Gecko Moria throwing out 3 characters on the board at one time, it can get out of control very quickly. Swing 10 at life. Yep, that goes through. And now play out the next one. Lock those down. Your turn. I'm in a decent position here. I'm definitely in a decent position, but I need to keep fighting for board in this. I can't really... With him having that many cards in his hand, I can't just go for a game. It would not be a wise decision. It probably won't work. So he swings 10 into my 6K Ryuma. Not too worried about that. He plays out a brand new, and he's sitting on 2 Dawn. So I have 2 10K swings, my leader, and 10 Dawn at my disposal. But notice my hand is pretty much completely dead. Like, there's almost nothing I can do with this hand. So I just have to start battling board. It's like, okay, I'm going to go 10 into a 6 here. Then I think I do some searches here, because I'm like, man, what is my follow-up play going to be? I have absolutely nothing. And by the way, while I'm searching cards up here, this is the same deck that won the Bandai tournament. It was like a 1,000+ player tournament. It got first place. He did get very fortunate. I reviewed. I did do some some commentating on I think it was 2 of the guys' games. He got very fortunate in them. But hey, you win, you win. That's cards, right? Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. All right, so I've done 2 searches. I got a blocker and a 2K counter. I'm like, okay, let's Ryuma this off the board. Let's swing 10 into life. Looking back, I feel like I should have somehow... Well, no, I couldn't have playing out that card. I'll say maybe I should have like somehow tried to save 1 Dawn and swing 11 into a Gecko Moria. But a 2K, 1K counter out with that many cards in hand is not that unrealistic. And instead, I got a blocker off the board, which was nice. He taps down my Rosinante. He KOs it. I'm like, nope. I'm not giving him my Doflamingo for what is that, 11K or a 12K. I go down to 1 card in hand to save my board, because it's all I have left, right? Like my cards in hand are just 2K counters. It's actually all that I have left, so I have to save those. He plays out Sabo, and I know in my head I have to try to eat up these Gecko Morias here or go for game. You know, I don't really have many other choices. Okay, so here we go. I was actually thinking about playing out Suru to tap down the Sabo with my leader effect and going from there. But I'm like, you know what? Let me go for 7s. He counters that with 2 2Ks. I'm like, okay, that's, you know, so that's a sign he doesn't have any 1Ks. Or if he does, it's like a very important 1K he doesn't want to get rid of unless he has to. So 7K more at life. He gives me 2 more 2Ks. So now I do a top search. I'm like, okay, actually, I'm not going to be able to win this turn now that he blocked out of those and still has or countered out and still has a blocker. So I need something to make it through. So I go ahead and get the 2K counter. I think my only choice there was 2K counter or Doflamingo. It's like, no, I have to try to eat these, you know, destroy these Gecko Morias now. I swing 11 into it. He lets it go. So I tap down the, I believe I tap down the, no, I just go on to, I go 11 into the 12 into the next one. He gives me the blocker. I play out a blocker of my own. Pass turn, you know, your turn. And again, it's fine that he can tap down my Rosinante and attack into it, because then it still acted as a pseudo blocker in that case, right? I think he should have tried to take out my board there, to be honest. Like, I think he should have gone, like, you know, if I would have done it, I'd have gone 11, or what are they? They're 10Ks. I'd have probably gone 12 into each one of mine, because it would have been 3 plus 7. Well, no, see, that would have been... So I guess he couldn't. I guess he literally couldn't have done that, because I could have countered out of 2 10Ks. All right, so he ends up KOing some of my stuff with Ryuma, playing out a blocker of his own. I'm going for game at this point. He has 3 cards in hand. I've seen how many 2K counters he's used. So I'm going to go 11, 12, 12 or something like that. Yeah. Or was it 10? Yeah, it was 11, 12, and 12. He has it or he doesn't have it. So GG, sometimes that's what you have to do. I could have tried to eat up some of the cards on the board and like played for the later game. But I actually thought I could, because of how many 2K counters he used, I thought it was actually the smarter play to just try and win the game right there. All right, Red Purple Law. This is the last game. Oh, let me put on 2x speed. There we go. All right, we're ready. So this is the last game here of the games we're going to check out on today's video. And Red Purple Law feels so strong right now. And by the way, this is OP06 Law. I'm not running the EB01 stuff. Like, there's no Kid and Killer in here. This is the OP06 Red Purple Law that you are going to be able to play if you're interested in your locals, starting next week or whenever. I think that's when it's technically OP06 is legal in the West. Is just next week, because we have the pre-release this weekend. Okay, swing 5 with Shariah. I could not believe he did not remove my Shariah. I was like, oh, okay, we'll take it every time. Play out the law, the 4 call promo law that can minus 2,000. Get rid of that guy. Play out Beppo. I'm really liking what's going on here so far. Like I have a very solid start to the game. He has a lot of cards in hand, though, right? I only have 5 cards in hand. He has about 9. So he's definitely still in this game. That's a questionable decision there, swinging 6 at life. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, he's probably gonna wipe my board right here, but he messes up. He put my guy down to 2 and my other guy at 2. When he just messed up there. It is what it is. Right here, I'm gonna punish him though. So it's like, okay, you have how many cards in hand? Well, now you're gonna trash 2 because I think he had 8 cards in hand. So trash 2. I establish a blocker. Swing with Beppo to gain a Dawn. I'm back up to 5 Dawn, but I'm about to get rid of that Lucci and go down to 3 Dawn. So swing 5, play out my Max Rays or Gordon here, minus 3 him, leader effect, trash that guy, play out Raise you to draw 2. I'm at 2 Dawn though now after all was said and done. So I need to, you know, I either need to win the game next turn, right, or like get close to it, or really beat the board up here. So he plays out a Borsellino. I was really surprised about that. I used my 1-2K counter to save my attacker there, especially my Beppo, because he can get me more Dawn. Swing with him first to make sure he doesn't hit some kind of trigger. Who knows what he's running. 5 in a life, 5 in a life. I'm just eating his hand up right now. Eating up every card in his hand. So I'm like, okay, here we go. 5 more at life. I'm debating if I want to go 7 or not. So I really mess up here. So 5 at life was... Let me pause it real quick. Okay, 5 at life was fine there. But here's the thing. What I should have done here is just 9 at life. Just go 9 at life. And then I can return 3 Dawn and play my Zorro. Or an alternative option would have been swing 7 at life, return 3, swing 7 more at life with Zorro. I completely blunder this, guys. Like, don't make fun of me. I see it. I saw it during the game. I was like, what did I just do? I just had like this like mental block. Okay. So I swing 5, and I'm like, wait, why did I do that? I can't even return 3 Dawn and still use this. So I'm like, okay, swing 6. And all I had was a 1K counter. So, again, what I should have done there with 4 Dawn active, I had not used my leader's effect yet. So I could have swung set, like attached, one Dawn was already tapped for the turn, right? Because I swung with Beppo, that gave me 1 Dawn. I should have attached 2 Dawn at the end there to my leader, swing 7 with my leader, which would have won anyway, by the way. You saw what he had in his hand. Actually, wait, did I mess that up? I'm crazy, guys. It would have gone through regardless, and then return the 3 Dawn that were used, the one on the, that was used, guys, I'm losing right now. Return the 1 Dawn that Beppo generated, and the 2 Dawn that were attached to the leader law. Play out Zorro, and I still have 2 Dawn left that were active that turn that I could have attached and swung for 7 again. Okay, well that's about it, guys. Let me go ahead and show you all the decks. I think I moved around the blue-black Sakazuki deck. I do apologize. Let me go off this, bring up this, and remove the overlay. Okay, there we go. So, deck editor... So I did move this deck around a little bit. This is not the exact list you just saw. I was moving around 2K counters and stuff, and this is not the list. So I'm sorry, guys. Whatever you saw, this is not it. Because it did not have the T-Bones, it did not have the Peronas, and I think in the place of it, it just had more, you know, I took out the Rebecca's and the Lucci's, and I was messing around with these 2K counters. So it was roughly the same as this, but swap out the T-Bones and the Peronas for Lucci's and Rebecca. And Gecko Moria. That's what it is. Because I think I was running 3 of each, and then -1 pudding to get to where it should have been. Like -4 Perona, -4 T-Bone, -1 pudding, and it should have been 3 Gecko, 3 Lucci, and 3 of, what's his name? Rebecca, Lucci, and Gecko. Yeah. Okay. Next up is the Perona list. This is just a copy-paste list from the OP06 championship game I was telling you about that a black-green Perona deck won. That's all that this list is right here. So you can just copy-paste that from OnePieceTopDecks.com. Red-Purple Law, I put this one together real quickly. The reason I have no decks on here, guys, that you can see is because the new 1.21b came out, I believe it is. Let me see real quick. Yeah, 1.21b is out currently, guys, so make sure y'all update your sim. So this is the Red-Purple Law deck. Honestly, guys, whenever the new... whenever EB01 comes out, The only thing I'm changing on this list is I'm going down 4 Ains for the Bond Clay, and then I'm probably taking out 2 Otama, 1 Shariah, and 1 of the 5-cost Kid, or actually probably 1 of the Trafalgar Laws, the more I think about it. And I'm going in for Kid and Killer, and that's probably some of the only changes I'll even be making, to be completely honest. So up 4 Bond Clays, up 4 Kid and Killer. Really good stuff there. This list just feels really good, guys. Feels really good. And last but not least is Uda. This is running the new EB01 blocker. So this is running EB01 cards. Let me say this. The Sakazuki deck that I showed was running EB01 cards, wherever they are. I don't know where they are. Oh, it was probably the leader is what triggered that. Because I think everything... Oh, T-Bone. T-Bone's EB01. And then the Uda is running EB01 as well. It's running the an ST12 with the new Mihawks, this blocker, and the Sanji. So it does have some new stuff in it. But the Perona list is just straight up OP06, and so is the Red Purple Law list. And those are probably the most relevant ones, because I think those are going to be some of the most competitive decks in the format. Blue Black Sakazuki, the yellow Enel, yellow Katakuri, Red Purple Law, and Green Uda probably to some extent, especially once ST12 does drop, where we can get access to what's his name, Mihawk. I think that it will be something, you know, pretty decent. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That's about it. Of course, I forgot to move my face, the usual. Let me move this over here for y'all. So I mean, you know, this is. Let me go over one more. Or actually, no, y'all could at least see the list. You just couldn't see the cards on the left. But yeah, this is it, guys. This is the Uda list I'm running. It could use some revisions. If you guys think a certain card would be better in a certain slot in any of these decks, by all means, share in the comment section below. And yeah, you guys tell me what y'all think. What list are y'all looking forward to playing the most in OP06? When do you think they're going to ban Sakazuki for us in the West, or are they going to at all? Will they wait till OP07 like they did in the East? I have no idea, guys. There's no telling. All right, guys, I'm done. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. Until next time, guys. Peace.